You have until the count of 5.
I happen to love the number 5. It's a beautiful number, a glorious number.
You got to the count of 5.
Welcome to the Got Till 5. And we can talk in sync because we're actually together today and we're being filmed, like actual filmed.
Hello.
Which is going to be on YouTube or something. It'll be on a visual medium because that don't work when you ain't on telly. How are you, Max? We're in person.
We're in person.
Kind of the first time we did a New Japan special, didn't we, for Wrestle Kingdom? But we were knackered.
We were not in the best spirits.
We were just tired because we had to get up early to watch it, and that was back when we were still trying to be current, and now we're just like, fuck it, we're going to do top 5s and not talk about actual real life. So that's good.
Yeah, I think it's better that we're doing it this way. And it's quite nice to see your face.
Is it?
Yeah.
To actually see how I act. Like, does it make you uncomfortable? Like, you didn't realise until now I actually just touched myself throughout the whole show.
Yeah. Well, this is why I put the camera up, so you have to put some pants on.
I know, I'm having to resist touching myself, and it's quite difficult. It's like the camera's just burning into my eyes.
But this week's top 5 stables.
What's gone? Something gone wrong already?
Nothing's gone wrong.
See, this is it. See, I can watch you like mess with stuff now, and we've never had that before. So the world could have been burning down around me before, and I had no idea. Whereas now, every time you move, I'm like, what's happened?
Now you have a little panic every time. But yeah, this time we're doing gimmick matches. So it's going to be top 5 gimmick matches. Now, we were unsure whether we were going to do like, oh, I like TLC matches because of this reason. But
so
we thought
looking in your eyes.
That's a bit of a shit idea. So we thought we'd do actual specific matches. So your favourite TLC match or hardcore match or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of notes this morning.
And what happened, Max?
I've just gone to pull them up and they're all gone.
You've done a Jesse. That's the sort of thing I would normally do. You're normally the organised one with this stuff. I've written my list as I normally do, and I've written it on the notepad on my phone, and I'm hiding it from you like we're doing a test at school or something, and I don't want you to copy me.
I feel like an idiot. I've got to remember these matches, so we'll see how it goes.
That's what I do every week, to be fair, and most people say that my top 5s are better.
Oh, I got to see Jesse's process today for picking a top 5. So I got my laptop out, I was doing research, looking at old matches, some highlights and stuff to see if it was good as I remembered it. He sits in the corner like a wise little autistic Asian man, just going, oh, yeah. And just all these matches I could see flowing before your eyes.
It's like when Neo gets all the martial arts downloaded into his brain in the first Matrix film. I just sit there with my eyes sort of slightly moving behind my closed eyelids.
I know Kung Fu.
I know gimmicks.
So we've got that coming up. We also have an interview with Chris Ridgeway.
Yes.
Which was done a little bit ago. We have a nice little chat.
He's a Scouser, isn't he?
He is. He says like a lot. And I appreciate it.
The fact that he's a Scouse gentleman is made apparent in this interview.
And yeah.
That's my takeaway.
But it was nice to have a good chat, and we spoke about his career and what he hopes to do in the future.
He's awesome. You had a friend who fell in love with him a bit.
I did. My friend Nikki, we took her to a Riptide show, and she's not really into wrestling. We just at the bar, and she goes, who's that? And that's Chris Ridgeway. Could you introduce me? No, Nikki.
No, because
No. So that's coming up in a minute. Also, quick plug for the people who have really helped us with our listens this week. Podcast Republic, the Android app, which you should be downloading if you're an Android user. Very easy.
Although they had a bit of criticism.
They did kick off a little bit.
They said, if you're going to mention us, can you mention us at the start, please? I'm sorry. I don't think you know our fan base, Podcast Republic bitch.
There goes that sponsorship.
You think that people are just going to listen to the start and then fuck off, do you? Our fans are in for the long haul. You're all still listening, aren't you? Yes. And so we can put it at the end if we want to, and the same amount of people will hear it. So don't be bitches, Podcast Republic. Having said that, great app. Keep up the good work. Yeah,
if you're an Android user, go and download the Podcast Republic app from the Android Play Store. Make sure you set Got to 5 as one of your favourites so you can keep us downloading, and any other podcast that you might listen to.
Or just have an iPhone when everything's easier. We're never hearing from this sponsor again.
That lasted 2 weeks. Well done.
It is a good app, honestly. Please go get it. It's free.
Okay, so should we do the Chris Ridgey interview? Ridgey. The problem with this, with being filmed though,
yeah,
is they're going to see all the tricks behind the thing.
What, the tricks?
Because I'm gonna like put this in post, the interview.
Oh yeah, so it's just going to be cut. I mean, they don't think that like Chris Ridgeway's. They don't think he's just going to abseil in from the ceiling and we're going to do the interview live. I'm going to be strangely silent through it because I wasn't actually there.
But I thought maybe they thought we listened to it and we sit and we listen to them, but we don't.
No,
we
of
just
course
put them in.
not,
So during the Ridgeway
listened to
interview,
it.
Jesse hasn't listened to it.
I've been busy. I've had quite a busy week.
Quite a busy week. So yeah, there'll be some pictures coming up over the Ridgeway interview. So here you go.
Okay, so it's Max Curtin here. I'm at Kamikaze Pro once again, and I'm sitting here with Chris Ridgeway, who has been kind enough to have a chat with us. How you doing, Chris?
I'm okay. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've got to let everyone know that you just had a match. Split the tongue.
Yes. Bear with me if I've got a bit of a lisp.
Bit of a lisp going on.
A huge tongue and a lot of blood.
So I'm going to keep this as short as possible. You don't have to go into complex answers.
That's okay.
That'll be fine.
Gotcha.
I guess start off. Why wrestling? What got you started?
I watched it since I was a kid. So like, I had quite a young mum who was into wrestling. She was 16 when she had me. She was still a wrestling fan then. So like, it was always in the background all the time. And then like, as she still grew up, like, I still watched wrestling. And then she stopped, and then I just carried on watching wrestling. Right. And then I never stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah.
So literally like, it was always on, all the time, sort of thing. So like, I was familiar with it since I was real young. I'm pretty sure like my first toys and that, like wrestling
exactly.
stuff. Can I swear on this, mate?
You can swear as much as you want.
I don't mean to, but I accidentally say fuck it.
It just comes out.
So.
No, it's fine.
But
So what kind of era was that you?
So like, the stuff that I can remember is like 2000, 2001.
Yes.
Like that's the first stuff I can remember. So it's like, obviously I've gone back and watched everything since then. I was doing stuff. Like SummerSlam 2000. And like Invasion 2001, SummerSlam 2001.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble 2001 as well. It was the one that I watched constantly. And there's a match on the Jericho and Benoit ladder match.
Yeah.
That's like good match. And that's like my first memory of watching wrestling as a kid and being like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Well, that's a good time.
Right?
Like WrestleMania 17 and.
Well, the crowds are hot as hell. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's cool. Like as a kid, like. The thing I was talking to my girlfriend about this other day, and it was, when there's like a big move and everyone does the flash photography.
Yes.
Like that doesn't happen anymore, which sucks.
But
like that as a kid, I used to be like, oh, that's amazing, you know what I mean? So from then, and then there was a bit of time, I'm blabbering on a bit here. There was a bit of time where I couldn't watch wrestling because we couldn't afford to have Sky and stuff anymore. Yeah. So I could only get the magazines and stuff, and then I finally got back into wrestling again. So like I missed about 3 or 4 years maybe watching it, and then I carried on watching it again, but it never left.
No. I think once it kind of gets in, you're kind of stuck with it, aren't you? So I was kind of about the same 2001, 2002. SmackDown stuff obviously was fantastic.
That's SmackDown 6 era, right?
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. So that was awesome.
So
how did it kind of progress from there? What was the point where it's like, actually, kind of want to do this for a living?
Why wouldn't you want to be a wrestler?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it sounds like it sounds like a cop out of an answer, but like it's badass, man.
Yeah.
It's all cool. Still cool now, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I didn't really think it was gonna be a job. I thought it was gonna be something I could do because like I wasn't even aware of like the British scene when I was training. Really, I was trained, to be honest, by a bit of a con dude, and then eventually Johnny Moss came down to that school to do a seminar. Because he got brought in, and then I was like, oh wait, he's teaching it how it looks on telly and like how the real wrestlers wrestle, not opposed to how I'm being taught. So I was like, I'm gonna go with Johnny Moss, I think. So I went away and trained with Johnny Moss for a long time, and then here I am, I guess.
Nice. So that's good, because a lot of your style is a lot of kicks, a lot of strikes, and they always look amazing. Like,
thank you.
It's awesome. So what's your background? Is it like any martial arts or?
Yeah, I did karate for years. I did boxing, Muay Thai. I did a bit of catch wrestling, a bit of jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So I've got like a fairly decent like grappling and kicking background. Kicking background. Oh my god, fighting background. Bear with me, I am sore.
I was gonna say it was just you and Ligero just now, and you guys went at it. 2 out of 3 falls match.
We did.
And that final fall,
we bit each other. We beat each other a lot.
Yeah, just a bit.
This blood tastes disgusting.
Do you want to spit somewhere?
No, it's okay. We'll carry on the podcast. I'll carry on like a trooper.
So working with Ligero, and obviously he's just been announced for the WWE UK tournament.
Yeah.
It's awesome at the moment, isn't it? Like the UK scene is just crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it's unreal.
Is that somewhere you'd want to kind of aspire to get to, like WWE, or do you see yourself going a different path to that?
currently I'm happy doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even considered myself an option for the tournament, so I'm not even in the slightest bit like, oh, am I not? Like, I was not, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm like real happy what I'm doing now. I'm happy to get to wrestle the guys that are doing it, you know what I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
I'm able to travel up and down this country. I'm going to go, I've been around Europe as well quite a bit this year, and I'm able to go a bit further later on in the year. I won't delve in too much, but I'm going to go a bit further out of Europe later on this year. You can have like exclusive. Not really exclusive, it's a bit of a hint, but like I'm gonna go and do some more cool stuff this year.
That's all.
So I'm just like happy to let this ball roll and sort of see what happens. You know what I mean?
Because how many years you been doing it now?
What date are we on?
2018.
No, the date. Bless you. The date exactly is that 26th for May? So I think it's like literally like 4 years and 6 days.
Really?
Because it was like 20th of May 2014.
Yeah.
First match in Birmingham.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
There you go, full circle.
There we go. Lovely. Yeah. So 2014 May Birmingham was the first match.
Nice.
Yeah.
How much has it changed in those 4 years?
Oh, I feel like it's changed like about 20 times since then, to be honest. Like, I don't know, like I'll go through like a couple of months and then like I like not reinvent myself, but I feel like I change a lot of things to wrestle smarter, to wrestle and use my common sense instead of worrying about other aspects of wrestling. So I feel like I'm more comfortable delving back into my natural backgrounds and using throws, kicks, submissions and stuff like that. As opposed to being something I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the more interesting I got, the more I figured I can actually be myself more. Like for me, I was kind of not taught, but like I kind of felt like you had to go and do something else, you had to go and be something else. Like this, I was like trying to be this like braggadocious character and stuff like that. But that's not really me. I'm cool just to get in there and just be a bit chilled at first, wrestle around and stuff like that. And as things get more intense, as do I. As the matches do, and that's just how I wrestle now. And it just sticks and it's just easier for me. Yeah. Instead of pretending to be something I'm not. But like that's cool. Like, that's what's good about wrestling, because I do that where someone else can go and do that character, and someone else can go and do a completely different character. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it, right? It's a circus freak show, right?
Well, carny business, as my co-host says. So exactly.
For sure.
No, because I remember I did a seminar with you a couple of months back now when we were in. Can't remember where we were now.
I know you. I can't remember.
Yeah, but I remember you saying to me after I did a match that it's kind of a case of take something from yourself, you know, outside interest, and put that into wrestling. And you're right, that is important. You know, you can't. Like, you can just be into wrestling, but you need outside sources.
Oh, for sure, absolutely, yeah. Otherwise, we don't be the same wrestler, and that's not going to be fun for anyone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like. You'd have probably thought that my ideal match to watch would be my style of wrestling, but it's not. Like I like watching like comedy matches quite a bit and stuff like that. And like I enjoy, obviously I enjoy my style of wrestling, as they say. Like, but like I do enjoy more so like comedy. Like there was a match recently. I'm going to be awful here and forget names and where it was. I was in London because I was with quite a few people and we were watching, and it was just a comedy match. And it was a 6-man, and it was one of the most fun matches I've ever seen. And I was on like my feet, and I was like, this is so cool, this is sick. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's sick. But like, I appreciate that. But like, I probably wouldn't be for a match a different style, you know what I mean? Like, I really, really enjoy that match specifically. Yeah. But yeah, I just remember a bit watching that and being like, oh, fuck, I don't even like my style of wrestling, I don't think.
I wish I'd
do that instead, that seems fun.
Would you ever kind of move into that kind of comedy style, or do you think that doesn't fit you?
I don't know if it fits me as well. Like, then again, like I can add elements of comedy to what I do, and I do sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which sounds like that's actually the lamest sentence ever. I do fit elements of comedy into my style. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Yes, but yeah, I don't know.
It's okay, this only goes out across the world.
Sweet. But what I'm trying to say really. All styles of wrestling are sick.
Yeah. Well, there's something for everyone.
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
Some guys like watching just submissional technical stuff.
Sure,
people like high
some days I'm really in the mood to watch a good like technical match and something. Some days I'm in the mood to watch comedy. Yeah. Some days I'm in the mood to watch a women's match and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's all different.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I mentioned previously training with yourself. Do you do any like training? Like any schools or anything?
Just seminars. I'm picking up quite a few bits of seminar stuff at the moment actually. from like Future Shock and then going down south and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So it's always cool to do because I like to like get around there, meet new people, and grab around to new people. See if I can teach anybody one thing, that'd be cool. You know what I mean?
I can still remember you taught me how to do the cravat.
Yep.
Still remember it.
Sweet.
So
Perfect.
nailed it. Don't make me do it now.
Never forget. No.
So you're kind of going all up and down the country right now. So based up north, all the time,
Just outside Liverpool.
Just outside.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Because I live down in Brighton, and I see you come and do the Riptide shows quite a bit.
Oh, you live in Brighton?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You travel this way.
I know, right?
Jesus.
You're welcome, listeners. This is what I do.
Wow.
So the stuff you're doing with like Travay and stuff in Brighton is a lot of fun. How did all that kind of come about, or did you work with Travay previously?
No, I just think it naturally fell into place together. I think it was just like they put three of us together and we all get on as mates.
Yeah.
And we all like have a good laugh as well. So like I think at first we were supposed to be like super like serious with it and stuff, but we figured like the more fun we can have with it. Like actually, you know what? Like if there's any comedy elements, it's down there. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not like because I don't want to have a wrestle. Like I wrestled Zack Sabre Jr. down there. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. Yeah. Like it's not that I don't take it serious or anything like that. Like I don't want anybody thinking that like I'll only do comedy at this place. But like what we're doing there happens to be sort of tongue in cheek, sort of. Oh for God's sake, fuck these guys. You know? Like irony, sort of like we're just being like jerks about everything, which is it's fun because it's something different to do as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we get to do that on the Friday, for example, and then I go and wrestle, I don't know, wherever on a Saturday, and I'll have like a technical match for like 15 minutes or someone, and then on the Sunday it could be a tag match. But it's cool to do all different styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. So every weekend's exciting as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Is there a certain type of match you prefer working, like singles or tag?
Oh, definitely like singles and just being like straight up like technical matches. Like that are like easy my favorite.
Yeah.
I just like wrestling like that. Like,
who do you kind of bounce off the best with that kind of style?
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Haskins. Ligero, to be honest.
Yeah.
As well, he's one of them definitely. You put me on the spot now. I'm gonna Mike Bailey, Tim Thatcher. There's a couple of others as well. There's a couple of others I'm gonna like after this is stopped. I'm gonna like shit.
that one.
Yeah.
So that's cool then. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you can't talk about where you're expanding, I guess. So we'll have to leave that for another day. We'll leave that for another day. But how is it different wrestling in say Europe to wrestling here? Like, what's the fan base like?
So like in Europe, so for example, I did Madrid recently, and that's for White Wolf Wrestling. Mm-hmm. So they're not as exposed to wrestling as we are, even on the television. Even like I don't even think like just like there's nowhere near as many fans in that country as there is going to be wrestling fans in this country. So I think they appreciate more seeing live wrestling. So anything you do, they're just going to get a crazy reaction for something. Like I even realised like how easy to get a reaction it was when I went over, and I think I put him in a Fujiwara armbar real quick, and the crowd just like all came up and they're banging on the ring, and I was like, oh wow, these guys love this.
They're hungry for it.
I was like, wow, they're into this. Like all night they were hot and stuff like that, but like I think my style of match that I do is different to what was happening previously. Yeah. Like a lot of it was like fun and moves and quite indie, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean, stuff like that. Yeah. And then obviously I like to be a bit more technical and straight up and stuff like that, but like they were really like biting on everything, and they were like, I think there was like one chest kick that I did at one point, and they all like lost their mind, and like the commentators were jumping. I was like, oh god, this is cool, man, because it's like, oh, someone's won. Wow, someone's won.
Little bit loud. Might have to just pause a minute for that to.
Let's reload it a second. Yeah, that's cool.
I can't remember what I was saying before that.
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Interest outside of wrestling, because obviously you can't ingest it all the time. Like, is there stuff you like doing outside of wrestling?
Oh, you know what? I am so sad.
I do the same.
Not
literally
really.
all I do.
Oh my god! Like you just like you put me in the spot. Like I was like, oh shit! I'm supposed to pretend I like other things. Yeah, man, I do volleyball, hula hooping, trampolining. I'm a badass on trampoline. No, I don't do anything, man. I just train.
Yeah,
I just train, spend time with my friends, my girlfriend, my family.
Yeah.
Train, and then I wrestle.
Yeah.
And then I wrestle. And then I watch wrestling.
I was gonna say, do you find time to like ingest wrestling and keep up to date?
Yeah, watch wrestling all the time. You've got to watch wrestling, otherwise you don't know who's doing what. You got to keep up with the times, really. Know
Yeah, definitely. So cool. All right then, let's wrap this up, because I know tongue, Monster Energy, not a great combination.
No, we just spit into a sink.
Yeah, exactly.
Blood in my mouth currently. I can feel all that swelling up here.
Nice. So we're a top 5 podcast.
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot, kind of. I did warn you.
You did.
The
anxiety.
Let's go simple. Top 5 favorite wrestlers.
Simple. Oh.
Damn.
Not whoever that music is.
Right, Chris was given a break there because of Dan's music, so he's got an advantage now.
Oh, I didn't use it, to be honest. I just spat into a song instead.
Yeah, you did.
So, Shibata,
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. Is this of all time?
Let's go all time.
Of all time, right? Because it's different, because it changes every day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, let's put it as all time since I was like a kid, because like I feel like as you're a kid you connect to wrestlers probably more so than you do when you're adult, because you're really investing in it for obvious reasons. So I'll say like guys like probably Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero for sure. Oh no, this is hard, man.
We have to do this every 2 weeks, come up with top 5s.
Three. So there's 3.
You're 3.
There's 3. Shit. You know, I always enjoyed Jeff Hardy matches, so I put him in there as well. Like, when I was a kid, so I really enjoyed him. So I still Shibata, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
biggest
of course. Of course.
Well good. So yeah, them 5.
I think that's a solid 5.
That's a decent 5. Like, but like my top 5 now would change a lot. But like I think like of all time, like matches that I'll go to.
Yeah.
I think if I'm gonna like, so I'll try and put in my head like whatever I'll type into YouTube to watch a match. Probably them 5 would be the first 5 I think of. It's like that. Yeah. I'm comfortable with that.
Cool.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be a dick and ask your current top 5, should I?
Ooh. Of like of where?
Of like right now, across the world.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I can do that. That's fine. Shibata, Zack, Walter.
Good choice.
Oh, Kenta, like 2008 year Kenta and Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
There you go.
Excellent. You like the hard hit ones. You like the...
Oh yeah. I want to wrestle all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Suzuki.
Wrestle Zack multiple times.
Yeah.
But I'd love to wrestle Suzuki. Yeah, be real cool.
Yeah. Suzuki Goon. Never know.
Maybe.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing this, man. And, you know, busted up and all that. So, yeah, have a good trip back, and we'll catch up soon.
We will.
Awesome.
We will, sir.
All right.
Well,
Cheers, mate.
cheers. Thank you.
Boy.
There you go.
We're back. That was magical. That was good. Wasn't that great how we managed to just go to Birmingham? Were you in?
I was in Birmingham.
Wasn't it great? We just went to Birmingham and back that quickly.
Amazing, right? We haven't even moved from our spot after 15 minutes.
I think I'm stuck here forever now. I feel like I'm sunk into the sofa.
Well, it's so nice to see you.
I know.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. It's nice to do this in the daytime as well.
Yeah.
We can be current. So like, ooh, look at the weather. Couldn't do that before.
Now we're
could
the most
we?
British podcast ever. Well done.
Look, it's sunny, it's quite warm. We're in Cheltenham, it's the Food and Drink Festival this weekend, and we're both here for it. That's exciting.
I know, right? We've kind of been on a bender for the past 3 days.
I feel borderline depressed with the lack of goodness in my body.
And we just had a Subway, so I don't think that's helping matters.
No, I had a poached egg and cheese Subway. It was
You really are keeping this current, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's currently digesting, and it will be leaving me in about 92 minutes.
We're not drinking today, though, right?
I don't think so. I don't want to.
But we're going to. We're going to.
There's nothing else when you're out. Like, you feel like a dick just ordering a soft, or I do, anyways, because I'm insecure. But I should probably just own it and just go for it, like everyone else does.
Nah. We'll have some fun time. But Jesse's playing 2 gigs today, which will be fun. I'm only going to
I'm
watch
doing
one.
this. This counts as a gig to me, so
Does it?
I'm actually doing a triple threat today. I would say a hat trick.
This is much more enjoyable, though, than playing music.
It's true, but yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I barely play music. I hit things.
You hit a box, so definitely. Shall we get crack? Oh, I haven't opened my Mountain Dew. Jesse says just makes my penis smaller.
It does, yeah. We're not being sponsored by Mountain Dew, by the way.
That's why I'm going to not show the logo.
After you just explicitly said what it is. What other drink is the colour of urine, other than urine? Like, there's nothing else.
Right, top 5 time.
Top 5. So, is this where the drop comes in?
This is where the drop comes in. Yep.
Okay. What you're going to put up on the YouTube video is the picture when we play this drop.
Should I just put pictures of us?
Okay.
We'll take some pictures today.
Okay.
And we'll just insert them in.
Alright, brilliant. Let's do it. Drop!
Dropped.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Are you ready? Oh, hell yeah. You fans can stick it, brother. Who's your daddy, Montreal?
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Me! Woo!
Here he is. No, that's the drop.
I prefer the idea of us just sitting in silence for 30 seconds looking into the camera.
Do you? Yeah.
Make everyone uncomfortable.
Just lighted a cigarette.
So gimmick matches are an interesting one, and they're very hit and miss for me.
Yes.
Because...
You're a wise man.
I really am. WWE have done some good ones, but I feel like they do the majority of hit and miss. Would you say not?
Yes, but they also do the majority that we actually know about because they're on telly and that, and no one else really is. So that's why.
I'm going to just preface, if we've got any deathmatch fans tuning in, you know, with CZW just doing their tournament, I have 0 death matches on here.
I have no interest in CZW. Sorry. Never watched it. Never nothing about it's ever appealed to me. Sorry about that. That's my taste.
Yeah, so deathmatch people, we're going to be talking about pansy gimmick matches.
Right, I don't know. I've got one that might not be considered a pansy one.
You got a violent one?
Yeah.
Well, as you are... Well, I was about to say guest, but I'm in your house right now.
You're in my house. I'm just as much of a co-host as you. I am nowhere in any way a guest.
No.
You're a twat.
I love you.
No, I'm your bestie Jesty.
I'm
But not a guestie.
not. Oh dear. Okay.
What's our noise if we have one that crosses over?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we will, but I don't think we will, to be honest. But
there's too much choice for us to.
Exactlamundo. But
what if we go for old Joey Styles?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, cool. Let's do that. That's a good shout. Well done.
Off the top of the head, that.
Was that off the top of the head? Well done. So there's one good idea today.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a bad day now because you've used all the brain power. Cool. You go first as you're more of a guest than me.
And I've got to remember what my number 5 was.
Exactly. So think away.
Okay.
Do boy.
Dude. My number 5 was from PWG 11. And it was a guerrilla warfare match between Joey Ryan, Candice LeRae, and the Young Bucks.
Oh my god!
Already?
My number 5.
Nice.
As well. How brilliant is that?
That's beautiful. Maybe I'm just looking at your list because I can't remember
Don't
mine.
you just stay away from my phone. We've been so we're metaphorically inside each other right now.
And physically.
How's it feel?
Beautiful.
Yeah, can they see our legs on the camera? I haven't.
I don't know. I don't think so. We'll just green screen it.
Yeah, because they don't need to see my wang right now.
Yeah, great match. When I first saw this match, this was happening in 2011. No idea who the Young Bucks were. No idea who Joey Ryan was. No idea who Candice LeRae was. And they beat the shit out of each other.
They did. But not only that, they did end up beating the shit out of each other. But it was such a multi-layered match because they started with like the jelly babies and stuff like that. And it was almost a comedy match. And we were like, oh, okay, it's just going to be silly. Then the tacks come out. Then the boot with the thumbtacks on the bottom.
Let's not undersell that as a passing comment.
I mean,
Candice LeRae gets kicked in the face with a thumbtack shoe.
Yes. And again, like 2011, so ahead of its time for a woman going through something like that. Like intergender wrestling, it doesn't feel like to me was particularly a big thing in 2011.
No.
And obviously more so on the indies than anywhere else, but it still wasn't a big thing. Like Candice LeRae was a trailblazer for really doing it well and just not shying away from anything the blokes did. Which now, it almost sounds sort of sexist and silly to say that now, but back then it was a bigger thing. Do you know
I feel like even now in 2018 we're nowhere near where we should be for...
You don't see women like bladed and doing all this crazy hardcore
or even doing you see intergender matches hugely on the independents now, but the fact that WWE still hasn't caught up to that level is quite surprising.
Yeah, it depends. Like Charlotte or Asuka, people like that, Ronda, which they all touched on intergender wrestling at Mania, didn't they? I can see them sort of realistically challenging the fellas, but there's other people like Carmella and Alexa Bliss and stuff. Like imagine chucking them against Roman Reigns or something. Like it would just be silly to me.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult thing to book well, I think. And again, you don't want to promote on telly that it's okay to be a big muscly dude just like hitting a woman. It's
true, that is the downside of it. So it's difficult. But Candice in this match, the stuff she was doing with the Bucks and all the tope suicidas and, as you mentioned, jelly babies, and then the thumbtacks come out. The finish to this match is fantastic with Candice pouring the thumbtacks down one of the Jackson's pants.
Oh yeah.
And then doing the bullplex onto the thumbtacks.
Yeah, it was good. It's such a good match. It's so weird that you've picked that one of all the. But I didn't watch that. When did you watch that match? Was it as far back as 2011?
It was when you showed me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I came
that
over.
was only like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a long time ago. Yeah. Relatively speaking, we've got some young listeners who I remember when 2 years felt like a long time. And they probably do as well. Just great match. Candice LeRae, absolute trailblazer. I don't know if people understand that, seeing her in NXT. Has she even had an NXT match?
I think she's had a couple. Well, she had that one against Selena Vega, I think. But she's pretty much Johnny's wife at the moment.
Yeah, right. And I'm not sure how I feel about that because she's capable of so much. But when they give her some good ring time in NXT, she's obviously going to be stunning. But
I think the problem was, like, you bring her in because of how much of a name she is and how popular she is. She'd have to go to the main event scene straight away.
Yeah.
And there's already people you need to build, so it makes sense to kind of hold her off.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, and you can just, and you've got a sure thing in her, so as soon as you need a sort of amazing woman, just let her go and she'll be amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Why?
When Max was sound checking, I just kept clicking and clapping into the mic because he's got a little earphone in to make sure levels are all right, and I just enjoy putting him through pain. It's better when you're here because I can actually see the wince on your face. Like when I do it, we're not.
You can see on the audio levels just then the spike of you clicking your fingers, and I'm furious.
And then you've got to edit that down so that it doesn't kill our listeners later as well.
You're
cool.
an asshole.
Lovely done. So, joint number 5, Happy Days. I shall go for my number 4. My number 4, it won't surprise you to know, being on my list, is from Backlash 2004.
Thought this would be higher.
Yeah. Well, when you see the ones that are higher, you might understand why. But it's Randy Orton versus Cactus Jack for the Intercontinental title. It's a hardcore match. And it's brilliant. I'm sure I've talked about it before, I must have done. Backlash 2004 in general, I really enjoyed as a pay-per-view. But this match was just stunning. And it was Randy Orton's first big match where he was really put through, like, just fed to Cactus Jack. Like, he did it to Triple H in 2000, and then everyone started taking Triple H seriously. He did it to Edge at WrestleMania 22? And again, I know Edge had been around a while and stuff, but it was a proper, like, okay, you're a proper main eventer now. Cactus Jack seems to he hurts people a lot, and then they're a main eventer. And it worked for Randy Orton so well. Like, I don't think anyone liked him before this at all. I know he was a heel, but like people didn't take him seriously as...
He was the pretty boy Adonis that was like...
almost bordering on like what Roman Reigns became. Like, oh, this is obviously just a pretty boy that Vince has picked, and he's going to rise and it's going to be all predictable and stuff. And it did kind of end up being that way until he found himself a bit more. But at the time, just seeing Cactus Jack abuse Randy Orton, and Randy Orton just take it and sell phenomenally, I thought, through the whole match. Just did a tremendous job. The thumbtack spot, which was that might have been the first thumbtack spot in WWE since Cactus Jack Triple H in Royal Rumble 2000.
Yeah, I imagine it would have been.
And it just felt... WWE felt like such a different place in 2004 than it did from 2000. So seeing thumbtacks was just a level of violence that I don't think we were used to anymore on WWE television. And it was great. There was a fire tease, which didn't actually happen, which is a shame.
I kind of like that tease. So in the match, Mick Foley threatens to set Barbie on fire, his barbed wire bat, and use it on Randy, and Eric Bischoff comes out and is like, if you use that, they're going to shut this thing down.
Yeah, stops it.
I thought that gave a legitimacy to it, which was quite cool.
Fine. Yeah, fair enough.
And then, Mick Foley jumping off the stage with an elbow.
Yeah, that was great.
He put himself through some shit in that match, Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Randy did. And when he had to slink off to the back. I always want to know why he had to slink off. So he did the thumbtack spot. So he goes for an RKO, Mick Foley pushes him off, and then his back lands in the thumbtacks, and it's everywhere. Everywhere on him.
Everywhere. Well, that's why I think Randy Orton had to just pop out back just for like 30 seconds or so, just so that they could check that he was okay. Really, do you know what I mean? Like, just make sure there's no erroneous attacks in weird places. And
It's difficult to land on thumbtacks when you're in little panties.
I would imagine, yeah. Never done it myself, but I imagine it would be a bit of a pain. And I like that the whole reason this match happened is because Mick Foley, Mania was the month before, and him and The Rock had a match against Evolution, a 3-on-2.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good match, but Mick Foley said he wasn't happy with the match and thinks it could have been better, thinks he could have performed better. So based on that, pitched having this match with Randy Orton. And I was just like, if you're Randy Orton, you're like, I was actually quite happy with the WrestleMania match.
I was fine with it.
Like, yeah,
you did great, match.
Like, you don't need to like cut me and throw me in places. It's fine. But it happened, and it made Randy Orton, in my opinion. Randy Orton became one of my favourite wrestlers for the next couple of years after that, solely based on his performance in this match.
Yeah, you were obsessed with him around 2004, and 2004 was his year. Near the end of it, around August, he'd end up winning the World Heavyweight Championship by wrestling no one. And yeah, it really was his year, and started off his kind of rise until he got bored again.
Exactly. Yeah. When Randy Orton can't be asked, you can fucking tell. But when he cares like this, he cares, and it's just brilliant. I loved it. It was a great match.
Very good choice.
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome, Jesse.
Your number 4.
My number 4.
Think back.
I'm so scared. Like, in my head, I'm blanking what number 3 was, because I changed it so many times. So I went, no, I'll do this one. So, yeah, I'm scared. And also, when you tell me what yours are, I'm having to remember.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, no. No, my god.
My number 4 was a match I was reminding myself earlier. You won't know anything about this match because you do not watch Lucha Underground.
Got no interest in Lucha Underground. Bunch of flippy bitches.
Flippy bitches, as Jesse calls them. But I really like it. Season 1, episode 19, nearing the end of the first season, there was a match between Mil Muertes and Ray Phoenix.
Who recently signed to TNA?
I believe.
Phoenix?
Yeah, they're kind of on a weird contract. I don't know how their contracts are working. Got a t-shirt in my bag of his. Doesn't smell like fish anymore.
Oh yeah, you bought one off him and you said it smelled like fish, and you
did.
You didn't want to ask why.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have asked either. I don't blame you.
Thank you for this. It's lovely. And they had a Grave Consequences match, which is a casket match.
Okay.
And it was violent.
Is there any differences? Is it just a casket match?
Just a casket match. The intro of the match is very cool because they do it very Day of the Dead style. So you got everyone coming out in the Sugar Skull makeup, and it's a big funeral procession that brings it out.
Nice.
I like Lucha because it gives the theatrics more of a focus as well.
Exactly why I don't like it.
That's why Jesse hates it.
Yeah.
But Mil Muertes is a big guy, and Phoenix is obviously a very small Lucha. But yeah, they hold each other.
You small little Lucha.
Small Lucha man. And they did some great spots throughout, to the point of Mil Muertes tearing apart the ring, and he takes like the little hook that holds the rope to the post, started hitting with that in the head, ripped off his mask, blood everywhere. And the thing I liked about, because I'm not normally a casket match fan, the whole he's going near the casket. Oh no, he's alive again. This one,
Same reason I hate the door rule in steel cage matches, by the way.
Yeah, because the cruel to it. You could die through that bitch.
It's so easy. You could just run out as soon as the bell goes.
Yeah. But in this match, they used the casket as almost like how you would use a ladder in a ladder match. So they were like throwing each other, they were propping it up in the corner and back dropping people onto it, which I thought was a really cool take, and the casket looked all damaged and broken by the end of it. And it's just a really fun match. It's on YouTube. Not to take any money away from Lucha Underground, but it's difficult to find.
For Americans, I think.
It is Americans, season 1, episode 19, and it's just such a violent but fun match. The pacing in it's great, playing off both their strengths of Mil Muertes' power versus Phoenix's flippy shit, and there's just some really cool moments that if you've not watched Lucha Underground, this is the match. So you said the Randy Orton match made Randy Orton.
Yes.
This match made Lucha Underground.
The whole promotion.
The whole promotion.
It took them 19 episodes.
It was popular, but this was the match that went like viral, that everyone started talking about. And
I remember enjoying the Ricochet or Prince Puma Johnny Nitro match.
First
ever
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying that match very much.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. I know you struggle with the flippy shit, and a whole hour of it must kill you.
I just want fake fighting. I don't want fake athletics. Fake gymnastics.
Fake gymnastics. But yeah, extremely good. And if you guys are just getting into Ricochet and NXT, that's a good place to go back to as well.
There you go. Yeah. Or his best Super Junior stuff, which in my opinion is much better from.
Oh, is it, Jesse?
Looks like it might be it.
How do you say a controversial opinion? Look out the window. You don't look me in the eyes like a man.
I know, yeah. Well, now you can see. So in previous episodes, you would have heard all sorts of strange noises coming from out my window and that when we've been doing this show. And this is why. There's literally a window right there, and it's open because it's a warm, sunny day, as you can see. We're sharing the same weather. And there's just people down there, just living their lives, just being noisy. Don't like it.
You've lived here for like 6 years.
Lived here a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm in the sky, I can look down on them, which is the rightful place I need to be. This is my ivory tower.
Have you ever dropped stuff onto them?
I've thrown eggs at drunk people.
Right now.
Yeah.
Good.
Not boiling water yet.
Well, that's just a
I'm
crime.
working up to the boiling water. Cool. Can I do my number 3, please?
No. How are we on number 4? We'll just
Because
give
we
it a
had
quick
the
one.
joint 5. It's okay, we can be quick. What's
No.
wrong with that?
I want them to sit for an hour and a half.
They don't have to do that. Remember, we've had the Ridgeway interview. So
That's true.
An extra
We're up to
15 minutes.
45 minutes.
Fine, we're fine. We're not even halfway through.
Alright, I'm sorry. You know what I get like.
Number 3. We're going well recent.
Wow, recent.
Well recent. We're going to NXT TakeOver, New Orleans, the 6-man ladder match for the North American Championship.
I did not even consider NXT in my list of choices.
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you don't have an official list anymore because you fucked it up. So
That's true. I could
you
mix
just
that
throw
right
it
now.
in and pretend it was always there.
War Games.
Well done.
Yeah, ladder match, good.
Yeah, it was. Move on. So we had Ricochet's debut in this match, which is obviously a big deal. We had another debut, didn't we? We had EC3's debut.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Like 2 big debuts in one match. Lars Sullivan completely overperformed. I like Lars Sullivan very much, but you don't expect him to be involved in a 5-star match anytime soon. And
No.
he was, and it was brilliant. Adam Cole winning that belt was the perfect move, I think. I think he did tremendously well. It was just spot heavy, and we talked about this when Steve was on the podcast, didn't we? Because we were talking about that match, and it was one of Shawn Michaels' first ever producer jobs. So he, which is what they call the agents now. So he was the agent for this match, and you can tell like it's a Shawn Michaels style, spot heavy, but still got enough psychology to it to keep it legit.
Yeah.
Which is how Shawn Michaels made a living, you know, and he just managed to get that across and told these wrestlers exactly what to do. And it's great. Imagine being Ricochet or EC3 and go, yeah, your first match for us is being produced by Shawn Michaels. It's like, okay, like this is, we've arrived. Like, this is good.
Yeah, definitely. And to have your first match be ranked as a 5-star match.
Yeah, amazing. And Ricochet's first ever spot on NXT television for the takeover was when he was on the ladder and the ladder got pushed over, and as it was falling, he did a moonsault to the outside. Do you remember?
Yeah.
That's his first big spot on NXT. Like, that's a good start. Like,
Yeah, that's how you get people's attention.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
And Velveteen Dream. Let's not
Of
take
course, can't
anything
forget Velveteen Dream. He's
away
amazing.
from Velveteen.
Yeah, he's one. I'm very excited for the. We're getting current. The Velveteen Dream Ricochet match, which is coming up.
Yeah, very true. I'm just very
next
excited to see
NXT.
what Velveteen does in his career. He's got a very special gimmick where it's not the Tyler Breeze campy style. It's a very well thought out character in the way his look is done, the tights, everything he does is very well planned.
He's a modern Gold Dust.
Yes.
Is the way I look at it. And they're doing the whole sort of sexual ambiguity, sexual ambiguousness. I'm thinking of like equity, which is a completely different word. The fact that he like wants to shag anything that moves is basically what I'm trying to say. But they're handling it in a cool way. I think they're doing it in a sort of interesting, unoffensive, like.
I don't know how he does it, but the sexual tension with anyone in the ring. Alistair Black. The Ricochet stuff, I'm borderline watching gay porn. I'm watching the setup to it.
And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm watching the setup to a good gay porn.
Yeah,
a good one.
Agreed. Yeah, it was what he said. He said, your pretty little face.
Yeah.
Something that little...
Babe, hold up.
Yeah, I'm getting tingles where I shouldn't be getting tingles. Uncle Max.
It's not his microphone standing up there. Yeah, it's a fantastic match. Really good takeover as well. That
Great
one
takeover.
in general.
Yeah,
really good.
stunning takeover. I think I've said before, there's only ever been one takeover that I thought was a bit meh, and I think it was Takeover the End Do you remember that one?
Yes, the one they did at Full Sail and stuff.
Yes.
Was that the steel cage one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Between Samoa Joe and Finn. The only time Finn's ever lost Dress of the Demon in WWE.
I feel like that was the time when everything was a first time ever in NXT. We just had like a first ever last man standing or something, and then it was a first ever cage. And
I remember just being very bored by Finn and Joe by that point. They feuded a long time.
Yeah, it's weird how Finn had such a long title reign, but I can't think of a feud that was my favourite. The Kevin Owens chase was very good.
That was good.
The Shinsuke stuff could have been better, in my opinion.
But Finn and Shin never really. They had like one match on an NXT.
Yeah.
They never feuded over the title or anything. It was. I mean, the
was
majority
Joe.
of Finn's reign was just Joe, wasn't it? Which did get a bit dull. But yeah, I love Finn. He's my baby boy.
He's your baby bitch. You've been watching all the videos of him covering himself in baby oil.
Oh, on Twitter?
Yeah.
Quite regularly.
Yeah.
With his lovely long nipples.
He has long nipples.
He's got really long nipples. Check them out next time.
Check them out.
I've got loads of figures over there, so you can go have a look at. See
Are
if
they
they've,
to scale, are they?
See if they've. I believe so,
Okay,
based on my
good.
tape measuring,
That's good.
which is my name for my penis.
Okay, so very good ladder match. Interested that Shawn Michaels produced it. One thing I wanna, because I went and saw Bret Hart do a talk recently.
Yes.
I had like a one-on-one evening, not a one-on-one. It felt like a one-on-one. I wanted it to be. And Bret was talking about the ladder match, and this was one of the bitter points that Bret had about the ladder match, the first ever one.
Right.
Because he said it
What's
was.
he sticking his oar in on that for? He wasn't even involved.
Well, he said that he kept pitching this idea to Vince because his dad came up with the concept for the ladder match. So the Stampede match was his match, and he kept saying to Vince, we could work it this way. And Vince was like, no. And Bret was like, we can work this match, but I want to be the one that works because it's my match and stuff.
Selfish Bret.
So he showed Vince, and he was like, oh, let me do it with Shawn to show you how it works. And they did the match, and apparently it wasn't great. Didn't come off great. But Vince was
like
like,
an empty arena?
I don't know. I think they might have done it on like a pre-match show.
House show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Vince kind of got into the idea, and then Bret finds out that it's going to be Owen and Diesel, that Shawn and Diesel.
Yeah.
And Bret was livid apparently, and he was like, it needs to be me and Owen doing it, and he was angry. He was angry about it.
I mean, it's not out of character, is it?
He did have a lot of more negatives than positives, I must say.
Bret the bitch man, huh?
Didn't call him that, in all honesty.
Didn't you? You should have done. I should have been there.
You should have been.
Cool. So that is my number 3. Your number 3, please.
No idea.
Best of luck.
No idea. My number 3. Was it a last man stand? No, it was an I Quit match. Okay, I remember. I remember it was Royal Rumble 1999.
Yes.
Mankind versus The Rock.
Yes, this is the one that's in Beyond the Mat that Mankind's family's sitting at ringside just crying their eyes out throughout the whole thing.
Personal favourite of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very aggressive match if you've never seen it before. The most famous bit is Mankind having his hands handcuffed behind his back and then The Rock wailing on his head with a steel chair 16 times, I believe the count comes up to.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah. And they just did horrible things to each other in this match, to the point where Mick Foley is knocked unconscious. I did my ear bunnies then.
Yeah. How Mick Foley is doing well in his life,
I know, right?
mentally, today. Like, that's nothing short of a medical miracle. That Mick Foley seems to be well.
He had a bit of a bad hip, and that seems to be it.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, yeah, he can barely walk, but I mean, like, his brain seems to have taken more abuse than any other part of his body, really, and he seems okay.
Maybe there wasn't a lot in there in the first place.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Well,
he seems
could
like a
be
very
true.
smart man. He writes books.
He does write books. Give 1,000 monkeys a typewriter.
It was the best of times. It was the blast of times.
Simpsons references is all me and Jesse communicating.
It basically is what we've spent the last week doing. So then it's good.
And The Rock was in a tracksuit. That's something I always take away from that match.
Yeah, did that bother you? You missed his thighs?
I did.
Caramel thighs.
Back to that sexual tension again. And yeah, in Beyond the Mat they show his wife and baby Noel and the other one. Dewey?
Dewey. Stupid name.
Stupid.
Dewey.
Stupid.
You grow out of that name. There's no grown-ups called Dewey.
You can't go to a business meeting and be like, "Hello, Dewey Foley."
Dewey, yeah, isn't it Dewey one of the little ducks from?
It is.
Yeah. I hate them and all.
DuckTales.
Stupid ducks, DuckTales.
Why'd you hate DuckTales?
DuckTales, they're just a bunch of dicks. Like, is it Disney?
Yeah, I think so.
And they all look like Donald Duck, but they've actually got nothing to do with Donald Duck.
I think that's how it works. Yeah. Are you saying that all ducks
Ripping
don't
off
look
your
the
own
same?
idea. Well, most of them are green heads. You never see a green-headed duck on a cartoon, do you?
It's true.
Well, all ducks have green heads.
Not all ducks.
Most ducks have green heads.
Male
All they're
ducks.
brown. So who are the two most famous ducks? Daffy and Donald. Black and white. It don't matter if you're black or
You can't get white ducks there.
I've never seen one.
You've never seen a white duck.
In England?
Not in England.
Right. Why would I have seen one then? Where do you think we are?
Well, you've seen Friends, the chick and the duck.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Thank you. And by the way, a brown duck is a female duck, and a green-headed one is a male duck.
Yeah. The males of all species tend to be like more beautiful, don't they?
I think that just incriminated your own sexuality,
Oh
Ben.
god, look at peacocks. Those stupid, sexy, colourful peacocks, and the women are just shit.
Yeah, but the men have to do the attraction, so they've got to look.
Yeah, that's true. Woo! Shaking their big bums. It's good.
That's why you and me don't go out dancing anymore.
But yeah, but yeah, white ducks, just water doves.
Just water doves, that's what you call them.
They are.
What were we talking about?
You chose a match. Oh, The Rock and Mankind.
Hitting each other in the head, and we got
Dewey.
the ducks. Dewey.
That's what I was
There it
talking
was,
about.
there's the link. So yeah, they're just crying at ringside, and the thing I like about
Yeah, they are.
in Beyond the Mat is they really audibly mic it. I imagine the guy underneath just like holding it.
I am just going to throw it out there. Sorry, Mick, if you listen to this. Colleen was hamming it up to fuck. Because she knew the cameras were there. She knew that her husband was going to have a violent match with The Rock. Of course she knew. She's not an idiot. She was just completely hamming out that crying and freaking her poor kids out. Because when you're a kid and you see your mum react like that, you're going to freak the fuck out as well, obviously. It's just not... Like, I'm not happy with Colleen for that. Just hamming it up for the camera. And
Making her children cry. It was a good camera, like, good TV.
yeah, and when they playing Stand By Me in the background and doing a little montage... Do you remember flying back to... Yeah, no, they were. They actually
don't
were.
remember that.
Yeah, so he was being smashed in the head. They're all crying. And then, when the night sort of comes in, and they're sort of interspersing it with cutting back to Mick, like, playing with his kids on the bed and stuff like that. And it's quite touching.
Dark.
But it was a nice bit of filmmaking. But yeah, it was quite funny. So that song always... Stand By Me, the film, is one of my favourite films of all time. Yet that song makes me think of Mick Foley being hit in the head more than that film.
Really slow motion. Because there was the whole afterwards when he's just getting taped up, and this speaks volumes to how mentally he is. He's getting stitched up, blood everywhere, and he's just like laughing and joking around, like he's just had a fun day at the office.
Yeah, he's like, I want to touch you.
Oh yeah, he wants to start touching her, doesn't he? I don't know about you, but when I have a massive head trauma, I get horny. That's just some of that happens.
So just some of that,
Just beat myself in the head before I get going.
Nice. I have to smash my penis against my bedside table to get some action going. Why won't you work? But we're all different.
Fantastic. Yeah, Rock and Mankind had great chemistry. So many good matches that they had together, but that one just always sticks out in my head.
Yeah, and apart reading Mankind's book, quite out of character for The Rock, he says that The Rock actually never sort of went up to him after that match and apologised or sort of checked he was okay.
Really?
Never. And I'm sure maybe he did after he read the book. He was like, oh shit, I forgot to do that. So The Rock went and did it. But yeah, so which I found quite interesting because that's very out of character for who appears to be the nicest man in the world. In the Rock. But yeah, that's what they say. That's what Mick said.
That's what the kids say.
There you go.
Cool.
You still haven't read Mick Foley's book, have you?
I haven't.
Read it.
All right.
It's really good. I mean, everyone says it's one of the best wrestling autobiographies for a reason. Like, it is really good.
Yeah.
Really good book. Really good. Even the second one, Foley is good.
Yeah. Well, all right then. I'll get to reading it. Shut up, Jesse.
I don't know why you haven't. It makes me angry.
I want to read Bret Hart's book again.
Itchy head. Can you hear that? Can you hear the scratch?
Yeah. All that skin coming off.
No. Oh yeah, it is.
What are we on?
We're on my number 2. My number 2 is another NXT takeover.
All right, Triple H bum boy.
Oh, you want to calm down? It's well, this is actually coming from this is actually coming from my love of WCW more than NXT, I would say. This is from NXT War Games. It is NXT War Games.
Hey!
Which was better than... I loved the War Games for WCW, but this was better than any War Games that they ever did in WCW, I have to say. Like, just the psychology of it, the way it was put together. There was a War Games once in WCW when a fan climbed over and got involved. Have you seen that?
No.
I think Macho Man is handcuffed to the cage, and they're all fucking him up. And then this fan climbs over, and Hulk Hogan and everyone just grab him and start beating the shit out of this fan.
I don't know why you'd get into a cage with a bunch of wrestlers.
I know, the guy was an idiot. I mean, there's rumours that it was actually staged. He's not a fan at all, but it's never been 100% confirmed either way, so I choose to believe it's an actual fan.
Yeah, if they didn't make an angle out of it, then...
Yeah, they just destroyed it. I mean, the fact that the camera stays on it is why people say it was probably a work, because if it was actually a fan, they probably would have tried not to film.
Yeah.
You know, and they did, so I don't know. But he's wearing a Sting mask as well, this fan. But it's worth watching. That's a good one. But yeah, this is just brilliant. Killian Dane turned me into a massive Killian Dane fan watching this. I didn't think much of him before, and he was amazing.
I thought All of Sanity kind of killed it. What's the other one called?
Lars Sullivan?
No, that's the...
No, that's it. That's the big guy. What's the German guy called?
I know. He hasn't been on TV in a while, and I've forgotten his name.
Well, Sanity got up to the main roster and they just have disappeared, haven't they? They haven't been on telly at all. I'm really sorry, mate. We can't remember your name. You're German and we love you.
But the spot he takes where he busts his head
open. Busts the back of his head pretty bad, didn't he? Yeah. Roddy Strong in the Authors of Pain gear is a bit weird. I wasn't sure about that.
What is that with like last year's trend of if you're in a stable, you put on ridiculous clothing? Kurt Angle and the Shield. Greatest moment in wrestling history, in my opinion, when the Shield come out and then Kurt just comes and joins them. Little Make-A-Wish face. Yeah, it was. I thought, because Roman was ill, wasn't he? So Kurt first walks out and God, I knew Roman was ill. I didn't think he was that. Oh, it's Kurt Angle. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, I think everyone put on a great match, and you expected Authors of Pain to run away with it, but the way they just kind of built it, and then... You know what, I can't even remember who won. I just enjoyed the match so much, but the winner didn't matter to me, because it was just such a good... I think it was Undisputed Era, wasn't it? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who won, because that is how you do a good match, where everyone involved looks fucking amazing at the end of it. Didn't matter at all. I still get very confused as to how... Kyle O'Reilly is the most entertaining person in NXT. I was so worried about it. He was like one of my favourite wrestlers in Japan for years, and when I heard he was going to NXT, I was like, oh man, like, he's such an incredible wrestler, but WWE's gonna try and rely so heavy on personality and promos, and you just can't do that, mate. You're just a technician, but personality isn't really your strong suit. He has been killing it in NXT. He's so funny. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's completely proved me wrong. He's amazing, and I just love him even more as a result of it. Kyle O'Reilly is the man. I love him. His timing is brilliant. And speaking of War Games, the famous bit where the Cheshire. He hits the thing and hits himself in the head. It is brilliant, yeah. I'd be interested to know if he got bollocks for that at all or anything. Because it's a headshot, but it's a self-headshot. Like, who are you finding here? Yeah. It's But didn't they do that spot again recently, where someone hit the ring and then hit themselves in the head? The first time I ever saw it was Stevie Richards did it in the WrestleMania 19 Triple Threat with Trish Stratus, when he was valeting Victoria. And tried to hit Trish and missed. That's the first time I saw that spot, and I always found it funny. I think Stevie Richards did it really well, and Kyle O'Reilly did it just as well in this War Games match. It was great. But yeah, so glad Kyle O'Reilly has proved me wrong. Like, I feel like a real idiot for doubting him now, because he's just doing so well. Yeah, and Authors of Pain bringing in, and Sanity bringing in weapons into the match. Yeah. Just added another element to it. Killian Dane, were you aware of Killian Dane before he was in NXT? No. Because he's from Northern Ireland, he's not from far away. No, he was big on the UK circuits. What was his name? He had a name originally here. But yeah, he was huge on the independents here. Completely went over my head. Yeah, I never saw him before NXT. And I almost feel like I missed out a bit because of that, you know. I would love to, seeing how good he is in NXT, I would love to have seen him over here. He's a big man that can move, that's for sure. Yeah, he's another one that looks like a bowling ball that's fallen down your plug on. Moving on. Yeah, absolutely love that match. I don't want them to do War Games all the time, but I wouldn't mind. And do you think they'll do it again? I hope so. I think, yeah. NXT is strong enough with their tag division that they have a lot of stables. Yeah. and a lot of people in it, because the whole Undisputed Era, we've spoken about this, the Undisputed Era have got that modern NWO feel to them.
They're awesome. I love Undisputed. Just, yeah, the way their promos are filmed, and the way that there's multiple camera angles to their promos, and they're sort of talking to each other, and they got their music in the background. It's exactly the same as NWO.
Rolling the
and
camera.
and they're talking to each other, and then they'll occasionally look straight into the camera and say something, then carry on chatting to each other. That's so NWO, and it's working, and it's awesome, and they're doing it so well. Adam Cole's just a charisma machine. He's amazing.
He is. Baby.
Baby.
Loving it. I've got to remember my number 2 now. Yep, got it. It was a match that you mentioned earlier that got me upset.
Yeah, you mentioned War Games earlier, and that annoyed me as well. Well, shut up.
Whenever you... Spoilers?
Yeah.
Mine comes from WrestleMania 22. Edge versus Mick Foley in a hardcore match.
I very nearly did put this in mine, and then I chose, because I thought I like it for the same reasons I like Randy Orton and Mick Foley, so I thought I'll just...
I feel like we'll be saying the same points, because everyone who's been listening to this podcast knows that Jesse loved Randy. I feel like we're advertising CCK with that in the shot. I'm just going to move my hat.
Yeah, dude. You've done nothing for us.
Nothing. So, Randy Orton was your favourite. Edge has always been my favourite, and this was the same kind of deal. Mick Foley making Edge around 2004 was Edge's big kind of rise to fame. And this is a really violent hardcore match.
Yeah.
For this era of WWE and at WrestleMania, shocking.
I agree.
Yeah. To start the match, Mick Foley comes out, and I go, oh, he's looking a bit fat. But he's just got multiple layers on, and he's got barbed wire wrapped around his chest. Edge hits a spear, punches a hole in his shoulder. I thought that looked fantastic.
But that's not a punch, that's a blade, isn't it? So blading your arm, to me, almost the idea of doing it is worse than blading your forehead. Just the idea, it's just so much more meaty there. Just
yeah, he had to dig it in there.
Just getting that blood out.
Fair play to Edge though, he got it right in the middle of his sun tattoo. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, right in the centre. Absolutely love it. And then we had the cookie sheets and road signs. There was barbed wire bats. Mick Foley got hit in the dick with a barbed wire bat. Even Lita takes spots.
I was about to say, Lita looked fucking hot in this match as well, by the way. The hottest Lita has ever been is accompanying Edge to the ring this match, I think, in my personal erect opinion. And
that top 5 is coming soon.
What
Jesse's top 5
Lita's level of hotness. Oh, my top 5 erections. Yeah, no, we could do that. Yeah, Finn's nipples would be number 1, spoiler. Yeah, Lita looked amazing. She jumped on Mick Foley's back, and then I think Edge hits Mick Foley with a clothesline. They all go over the top rope to the outside. Lita takes a bad bump on that. Like, she
can't
takes
hit
the worst
the
bump
apron.
of the 3.
Yeah.
But it looks great, and she was obviously all right, which is good. I know she leaves the match with a bloody mouth, doesn't she? I think, is it a barbed wire Mr. Socko?
Yeah, he wraps it and then puts it in her mouth, and she's fucking loving it.
Amazing. Everyone involved in that match put a hell of a shift in. And Mick Foley wasn't happy with it.
Really?
Again, read his books. He says that he wasn't happy with that match and thinks it could have been better, which is why he pushed for getting Terry Funk involved and all that storyline when he ended up joining Edge and Lita. Do you remember?
Yes.
Turning heel for a bit, and did an amazing job, I think. And that 6-man tag was again his sort of pitch of, I can do better, let me do better, let's try and do something.
Let's do it, ECW,
and he did. I think that match was. I love the Edge match as well, but
something about that one, that was very old school ECW, and everyone involved.
He came out, one of my favourite lines in all of wrestling. So he comes out at ECW One Night Stand, obviously hardcore ECW fans there and stuff, and Mick Foley achieves heel heat in front of them, which is incredible. And he comes out and sort of starts talking on the mic, and he's like, I think we all need to credit and admire the greatest owner of ECW there ever has been. And then he just goes, Stephanie McMahon. Everyone's brr. It's just amazing. The best heat ever.
Oh,
I love Mick Foley for that line.
But yeah, I love the WrestleMania match, the flaming table spot.
Yeah.
At the end.
God, that moment when they go through that flaming table, you see it's only like a second, but it must have lasted like minutes in Mick Foley's head.
Yeah.
So you go through the table, you see him sort of roll to the left, but because of the way the table's broken, he can't go anywhere. There's just boiling hot table. Roll to the right, there's just boiling hot table. That sort of momentary panic of like, what the fuck? Like, you could so easily go on fire.
Oh yeah, completely. And whether they had enough people to kind of put them out or not is baffling.
Yeah, they didn't seem to. Maybe they were hiding well. I don't know, but they didn't seem to have too many fire marshals on hand, did they? In case it went wrong.
No, not at all. It was very confusing.
It was. Is everything all right on the computer?
I
can
think
see
so.
You sort of panicking.
Don't worry.
What's
Don't
happening?
worry. Nothing, Jesse. Carry.
Hey, no, there's no there's no backstage shenanigans here.
It's fine.
Okay. The listeners are in. They're allowed to know all the technical difficulties we have.
Yes, they are.
Don't pretend that we're perfect.
But for now, give me your number one.
My number one of all-time gimmick matches is Survivor Series 2002, the first ever Elimination Chamber match.
Intriguing.
Now, it's been done to death now, obviously, the Elimination Chamber, but there was something so special about the first one, and it felt like it was one of the first times watching wrestling as a kid that it felt like a real event. Like, oh my god, this is like a completely new type of match, something none of us have ever seen before. And you've got, on top of that, it's main eventing a fantastic pay-per-view. Survivor Series 2002 was just wall-to-wall great. All the matches were brilliant. You got Shawn Michaels having his first title opportunity since he's come back from his back injury. And you got all the people in that match are good workers as well. Like, they were all solid hands. And it's just a great match. I just think it's a great match. It's the historical significance of it being the first Elimination Chamber match. Triple H crushes his throat in like the first 10 minutes, and to his credit, goes through the whole thing. Yeah, and I just think it's a great match, topped off with one of my favourites, Shawn Michaels winning the world title, which is awesome. Just all in all, fantastic. Yeah,
completely. It's because it was such a unique concept when it was first introduced that it was just mind-blowing.
Yeah. Eric Bischoff coming out before the match and sort of basically explaining sort of
2 miles of change.
Yeah, just added to it as well, I think. I think he did a brilliant job doing that. I think they just perfectly introduced a crazy concept, but introduced it in a very legit, cool way.
Yeah, and it's very hard to build a feud between 6 people.
Yes.
But I think they did that as well. And they picked the 6 right people for the job as well.
Yeah, and seeds were planted that led all the way up to WrestleMania 19 in that match as well.
Yeah, definitely. And more Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Perfect finish as well, Shawn finally winning the world title.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The only thing that lets this match down is Shawn Michaels' appearance, when he's got those unfinished brown tights and a Dutch boy haircut.
And his Dutch boy haircut. Well, we had to get the majestic locks back somehow.
We did. And I believe the Dutch boy look was a unlockable outfit in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so not only is it the worst he's ever looked, but it's immortalised on this game as well.
Jesus, and you have to unlock it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to like spend coins that you make in season mode or something to get them.
Disgusting.
I know.
Who else was in this match? It was Booker T, RVD.
Yeah, Kane,
Jericho, and Trips, and Shawn, obviously. Yeah, Kane was good in that match as well.
Yeah.
Booker, which, as you say, planted seeds to lead up to it, because this was the first time kind of putting Booker in that main event scene. And we mentioned on the podcast before, but we'll always be angry about how WrestleMania 19 turned out.
Yeah, with Triple H and Booker T, that was just the wrong finish to that match.
Because you know that they saw him as a main eventer, because they put the world title on him again on SmackDown, so they knew what they had.
It took Booker T years to recover from that. It took him turning heel, coming up with the King Booker stuff, which was like 4 years later until he recovered.
And that was just on SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was beating Ray, wasn't it, for the World Heavyweight title. It took him years to recover from that. Not fair. RVD and Kane were a tag team at the time, so that was a nice dynamic.
Oh, yeah, and this was just before Kane removed his mask, 'cause that was 2003.
Yes. When would he have removed his mask? It would have been just before SummerSlam 2003.
Yeah.
Removed his mask.
So about 6 months before. They were a fun tag team, RVD and Kane.
Tag team. Kane's had some interesting tag teams over the years. I enjoyed Kane X-Pac. Do you remember Kane X-Pac?
Yeah.
It was a good tag team. Kane Hurricane.
Yeah, Kane Hurricane.
Kane Daniel Bryan, obviously. He's had some good tag teams over the years.
He does make it
Makes things work, yeah.
Survivor Series 2002 is a super gimmick pay-per-view as well. So you got Elimination Chamber. To start off the pay-per-view, you've got the 6-man table match.
Oh yeah.
Then you got the women's street fight.
Yeah.
I swear there's another one in there as well. But that's still 3 gimmick matches.
Yeah.
Off the bat, which is a stupid amount.
There's
really.
there's the triple threat with Los Guerreros, Benoit and Angle,
Oh,
and Edge and Ray.
True. That is a gimmick.
Yeah. It's gimmicky.
I feel like the problem with this top 5 is anything outside the normal one-on-one or tag fatal 4-way is a gimmick match. We could have picked Royal Rumble.
Well, this is it. I was actually tempted to pick the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, Team Austin versus Team Bischoff, because you know how much I love that match.
Yeah.
But I went against it, just 'cause even though you could argue it's a gimmick match, it's still got the sort of regular rules that that you're not going to see weapons or an unusual environmental thing. So I thought stick to that.
Yeah, that's a fair choice. Okay, my number 1
is not that, I hope.
Shit, I forgot to say. Oh my god. One of my favourite matches, and one of the reasons I ended up loving wrestling, was this match. WrestleMania 17, TLC 2.
Of course.
Of course.
Didn't even enter my head. Yeah.
One of the greatest ladder matches, greatest TLC matches. Anyone who says the first one is better is wrong.
I still think it's the greatest TLC match that's ever been.
Hands down. And you've got 6 of the best wrestlers that would eventually come out of it. And what I love is that all 6 found success.
Yeah.
There's obviously some had more success than others.
Yeah, I mean Christian is probably the least successful of the lot, I would say, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
But he's still, he's a
world champion.
World champion, TNA champion.
Yeah. And they just had some fantastic matches. Everyone knows this match so well, I hope. If you haven't, you're not a wrestling fan, really.
Yeah, get out.
Get out. Stop listening. Go watch it. There's just so many great spots, and also the inclusion of all the additional members. So you got the Spikes, you got your Litas, you got your Rhinos.
Yeah, Lita looking hot then.
Lita looking hot then.
Looked hotter for the Edge Mick Foley match.
She did. But there were so many elements to this match that it should have been messy. There were so many spots and there were so many people involved that it shouldn't have worked.
No.
But it was just so entertaining.
Yeah, there's only one spot I can think of that visibly fucked up, which was when Jeff tried to walk along the 3 ladders and sort of fell, didn't he? But you allow things like that. You get it. There's no...
Well, I was watching a Table for 3, which was Edge and Christian, or Table for 4 technically, and it was Matt and Jeff.
Yeah.
And they had talked about that spot, and Jeff was like adamant that he could do it, because the production were like, no, you shouldn't do it, you can't do it. And he's like, no, I could do it. And you can see how visibly hot and angry he gets when he fucks it up.
Yeah.
But Christian says it kind of added to it,
Yeah.
I don't like everything looking perfect, so him trying to tightrope across 4 ladders, of course it's going to fuck up.
Yeah.
And that just goes to Jeff's daredevil that fucked up him getting the titles. So I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Also in that match with like Devon, and I think it's Devon and Christian, swinging on the tag titles. Because I never knew that Devon was afraid of heights.
Yeah, how did I learn this? I think it was on Jericho's podcast that I learned that when Bubba Ray was on or something.
So he hates it.
Yeah.
Apparently everyone was just trying not to laugh when they're swinging, because Christian's kicking Devon, to be in character and stuff, and they just hear Devon going, Jay, stop kicking me! Jay, stop it! Stop it! And he just wasn't having it. Yeah, I just love the fact he's afraid of heights, and he's done so many TLC spots.
Yeah, that's like what he's most famous for.
And he climbs to the top rope and is like, there.
Yeah. Brilliant. It's great match. Like you say, the inclusion of Rhino and everything. And again, that's another one where Edge and Christian did win, but the winners don't matter. It doesn't matter that they won. Everyone looked amazing coming out of that match because it was so good. Like the NXT War Games we were talking about. It just... The winner, when a match is done that well, the winner is the least important thing about the whole thing. It's just how well everyone did in the match, and everyone had their spot.
You look at all of that matches, like WrestleMania 2000's another one, where it was just the triangle ladder match, which basically turned into TLC. And yeah, they did some crazy stuff then as well.
That wasn't the best WrestleMania, but that was the best match that night.
Yeah, definitely. So TLC was always made famous by those 6, and I think they've always done it best. when there's ever been a TLC, I can't think of another one that's been as good.
No, nowhere near.
I remember one on
There's
Raw.
the forgotten TLC. I was about to say the one on Raw, which was
The Raw Roulette, and it had people like
Jericho and Benoit were in.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy and RVD teaming together.
Yeah, right.
Really weird
And
tag
I think
teams.
it was the Dudleys again,
Yeah.
wasn't it? But that it was good. It was fine, but it doesn't touch TLC.
No, it was only special because it was a shock on Raw with the roulette and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, great match, good choice.
Thank you.
So what was my number one again? Oh yeah, Survivor Series 2002. So similar sort of eras of our number ones.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
It's what kind of gets you into it, isn't
Sort of
it?
glory days.
It's all been downhill since then.
Yeah, and Sean again. Like jumping back to mine quickly, Sean was so. Even though he was just coming back after 4 years, I wasn't that aware of Sean in the 90s. So at the time, so he almost felt like a brand new wrestler to me that was getting this amazing push and pageantry, and yeah, it just felt cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when Sean came during our era, he was quite new to us. We didn't know his history at that point, and he was already this established person. It's crazy.
They should do that. They should just bring in new stars and pretend that they've been around for years.
Yeah.
And immediately
I feel like that's what they do with the indie stars at the moment.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
true.
major
Yeah,
indies.
yeah.
It's the same equivalent.
Yeah, no, it is the same sort of thing.
Ricochet's been doing it for 18 years. Has he?
And now Daniel Bryan's back after a seemingly career-ending injury, and he's not quite getting the Shawn Michaels treatment, is he?
No.
No.
Big Cass. But I suppose that is the equivalent of this era, isn't it? He hasn't been gone as long and has been on TV. Because Sean was on TV. Okay, if you take out Sean not being on TV, so if Daniel Bryan had done all he did, went away for 2 years, then came back, it would be kind of the equivalent. Because Sean did commissioner stuff and...
Yeah, he joined the NWO. For a short time. That was weird. Yeah, very strange.
But
there we go.
Gimmick matches, not always my favourite, but they serve a purpose in wrestling.
They do.
And I think those 10 between us are very good.
9. We had PWG, didn't we?
Yes. Back in
together.
Candice LeRae.
Well, we both know what we like.
But there's a couple in there that if you haven't seen before are definitely worth checking out, just to get into some more gimmicky matches.
They're all easy to find, I imagine.
Yeah, we don't go too obscure. There was the Piranha Death match in Japan, which I remember watching, which was very weird.
I don't think I've seen that.
There's just a piranha tank in the ring and you've got to hold your opponent in there.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Some of the Japanese death matches are weird.
Yeah, I bet.
They are messed up. But yeah, gimmick matches are entertaining.
Correct. Well done you. Well
Thank
done
you,
me.
Jesse.
Well done Chris Ridgeway.
If you had to pick a favourite gimmick match though, what would you pick? Like an overall gimmick match.
Overall gimmick match.
On the spot there.
I do like an Elimination Chamber, I have to say. Even more recent Elimination Chambers. Just the whole, you don't know who's coming out, and the dynamic of the match can completely change on who comes out next, and you don't know till it happens.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
If you can count Royal Rumble as a gimmick match, I would say Royal Rumble hands down is my favourite of all time. I love Royal Rumbles.
Yeah.
That's just like my favourite. If I'm ever bored, I just sort of pick a random year in my head and just throw the Royal Rumble on from that year on the network and just always enjoy myself watching a Royal Rumble.
Yeah, safe bet. I like multi-man ladder matches, as proved by my number one.
Nice.
Money in the Bank is always a favourite of mine. I don't think I've watched one where I've gone, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
They're just fun. And last man standing matches I always enjoy.
Very good.
I know. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time again. And we've got possibly some stuff going up. We've had some people email us about doing an interview.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out.
Everyone wants to jump on the Got to 5 train.
Oh, it's mad at the moment. I'm doing a interview with Switch on Tag In tomorrow. They want to do... I've got to do 2 top 5s this week.
Life's hard.
I've got to do top 5 independent wrestlers.
Life's hard.
I don't know what to do. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more interviews. I'm doing a show at the end of the month, so I'm going to talk to some more people there. So we'll have lots of content in July and all that kind of stuff.
Lovely stuff. Lots for you all to look forward to.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
If you're
bitches.
listening to this on the audio version, but you want to see me and Jesse talk to each other, there will be a link on YouTube probably a week after this release, just to
Nice.
kind of
Give you
mix
some
it up.
time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
And we're going to go drink some beer and you're going to play some music now.
Play some music. Got 2 gigs tomorrow as well while you're off doing your little top 5s. So busy.
We're so cool. High five me, buddy.
Yeah, that was a real life high five. A live 5.
I liked it. Live 5.
A high live got till 5.
Where can people go if they want to get in contact?
Got to 5.com!
Was it finished, Jesse?
Finish.
If they want
Count-to-5.com! Count-to-5.com!
if they want to find us or contact us.
I think that'll be got5.com.
Oh, I see. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
got5.com. You can find the twits. You can find Insta. We're on, but we don't
Links,
use it that much.
yeah.
But Twitter's the one. Find us on Twitter.
Email
and,
us. We've got a little
speak to us.
email link at the bottom, which is fun.
Email us. Find us on YouTube next week. And happy days.
Happy days. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. I don't want to go back to not seeing your face.
I know this is nice, isn't it? Although, like, I will be able to go back to doing it in the nude.
This is true.
So I think I might prefer it, actually.
Okay. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you everyone who listened last week and for checking out this week as well. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Jesse, it's always been a pleasure, and I love your face.
I love everything about you.
Why do you always have to top it?
Because I'm just sorry.
Such a dick.
I'm just a nice person.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Later days.
You have until the count of 5.
I happen to love the number 5. It's a beautiful number, a glorious number.
You got to the count of 5.